Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Poker Vlog. It is Tuesday, December the 12th. We are back at our old stomping grounds, South Point Hotel and Casino. But we are doing something different today. We're jumping in to the 300,000 free roll tournament here at South Point. So this will officially be my first tournament vlog. Excited to bring you guys along for the ride, and hopefully we can make a run at it and get to the final table. If we make it to the final table, it'll almost certainly be a chop. So I think probably first place will be around $14,500, which is not a bad day's work. So let's get in there and see if we can run good or if we can make some moves and make something happen. Let's get it. We sit down and buy in for $10,000 and get the 10,000 add-on. So we are going to have 20,000 in our stack to get things started. The very first hand of the tournament, we are going to be in the cutoff. Level 1, the small blind is 100, the big blind is 200. We get dealt in some pretty good cards to start things off. We look down at ace, queen, off suit. Better yet, we see a couple of players who decide to limp in middle position. They call the 200, and the low jack raises it up and makes it 800 to go. Now, I've played cash with this low jack player, but I have not played a tournament with him. He is a very tight player in cash games. I'm going to assume that style crosses over in his tournament play, but I'm not too sure. So I toss in the call for 800. The small blind gets out of the way, the big blind gets out of the way, and I expected one of the limpers to put in the limp call. A lot of pocket pair type hands would do that, but they both decide to fold. So surprisingly, we are going to go heads up here. And while we got some good cards pre-flop, the flop does not connect with us. 10-9-6 rainbow. Low jack quickly bets 1,000, and I quickly fold. All right, a few hands later, we pick up pocket fives. The table had been playing very passive up to this point. Just a lot of limping going on pre-flop, and a lot of people just trying to see cheap flops. So when I pick up pocket fives, I decide to take the same approach. I'm in early position. I don't think there's much of a reason here to raise, so I just go ahead and call the 200. We see a couple players in middle position also limp and call the 200. And then it gets over to the small blind, who unfortunately decides now is the time to be aggressive. And he raises it up. He makes it 900 to go. Now the action is back on me, and I didn't call here to fold. So I go ahead and put in the additional chips, trying to set mine here and see a flop and see if we can't win a big pot. Middle position player calls as well. So we are going three ways here to a flop. Can we connect with our five? No. Queen, deuce, jack, all rainbow. Small blind continues with his aggression. I don't think we can continue here. Don't think we have the best hand too often, so I go ahead and let it go. We've been getting some decent cards, but unfortunately our chip stack is headed in the wrong direction. We are on the decline, down to 18K in our starting stack. But no worries, it's still level 1. Blinds are still 100, 200. And in this hand, it's going to be a dead big blind because the player in the 3 seat is not in his seat. We are going to look down at another small pocket pair yet again, pocket threes. Under the gun raises it up. He makes it 500 to go. Everyone else gets out of the way, so the action is back over to me. And I'm deciding whether or not I have the right implied odds here to set mine. We both have about the same starting stack size, 18K. I have to call an additional 400 here to potentially win 18,000. I think the implied odds are good, so I go ahead and put in the call, trying to hit that elusive set. Let's see if we can connect. King, 7, deuce, 2 clubs. We whiff yet again. I check, and when the under the gun player continues his aggression for 600, I quickly hit the eject button and I get out of there. Let's try to win a pot. That's a novel idea in poker. This time I've got ace-king offsuit. I'm in the hijack. Everyone folds to me, and I go ahead and raise this up. I make it 500 to go. Blinds are still 100, 200. We're still in level 1.
Cutoff snap folds, button calls, both the blinds decide to get out of the way, leaving us heads up out of position with the button. Never fun playing hands out of position, but I think we do have the advantage here with a strong range, and a hand like Ace-King is at the top of that range. Let's see if we can connect with a flop for once. So far, the flops have not been kind to us, and that trend continues when we see Queen 6 deuce. However, I think this favors us more than it favors the button, so I just put out a small bet of 500. Button quickly calls, and we continue on to a magical turn, which is the ace of spades. No reason to slow down here, so I continue for a little bit of a larger sizing here. I go to 2,300 on the turn. This gets the button out of the way, and we do win our first pot of this tournament, chipping up a little bit. Moving on to level 2, blinds are now 200, 400, and we pick up pocket queens under the gun. Definitely going to be raising this up. I make it 1,200 to go. Got about 18,800 in my stack. Folds around to the cutoff, who has about a similar stack size, makes the call. Small blind decides to make the call as well, and the big blind gets out of the way. So we're going to go 3 ways here, stuck in between 2 opponents with our ladies. Let's see what we can do on a flop of 9-5-4 with 2 hearts. Small blind quickly checks. I think I can check here as well. Stuck in between 2 opponents, I don't think it's necessarily going to be wrong too often when you start with a check. But that is not what I do. I bet about a half pot size bet of 2,100. Cutoff thinks for some time before putting in the call, and the small blind is out of there. He folds pretty quickly after the cutoff calls. So we're going to continue on heads up to a turn. I think the cutoff is going to have a lot of draws in his range. He could have some flush draws and straight draws, combo draws, etc. He might have some 9x as well. So when we see the ace of clubs on the turn, it's not my favorite card because a lot of the flush draws that the cutoff is going to have include an ace. But I think we also can have a lot more aces in our range than the cutoff, considering we raised pre-flop and we're under the gun. Our range is going to definitely contain a lot more strong aces. So I decided to continue betting here, again going a little larger than half pot size bet of 6,000. And this puts the cutoff into the tank for a good 25 to 30 seconds. At this point, I'm praying for a call because I feel like he's definitely got a worse hand, but he eventually folds, and we end up taking down this $14,200 pot, and things are starting to head in the right direction. Fortunately, we go card dead for the remainder of level 2 and for a good chunk of level 3. This is the last hand before the break of level 3, the first break of the tournament. Blinds are 300, 600, and it folds to me. I raise it up, I make it 1,200 to go. Folds to the big blind, who decides to defend and puts in the call. So we're going to go heads up to a flop. Let's see if ace-queen can be a little bit more friendly this time around and give us a little something. Unfortunately, that's not the case when we see 10-5 deuce with 2 spades. Goes check, check, and the 5 of spades peels off on the turn, bringing in the flush, and now the big blind leads out for 1,000, and I quickly get out of the way, and we are off to the break. All right, so we made it to break number 1. The first 3 levels are over. We're gonna go back to about 22 big blinds. Not too much happened in the first few rounds. Chipped up a little bit, lost some chips a little bit, but nothing too crazy. So we're getting a little bit short stacked, so it's gonna be kind of shove or fold scenario when we get back in there. But let's see if we can't double up or triple up and make a run at this thing. So I will see you guys back at the tables. First hand back from the break, level 4, blinds are 500, 1,000. We've got ace of spades, king of clubs in the cutoff. We see a raise in middle position to 2.3K. I go ahead and just rip it in here with 23 big blinds. looking to double up, and it folds to the raiser, who shrugs and puts in the call, and we both have ace king. So let's see if there's going to be any blood on the board. Nope. Queen 7-7, rainbow. It's going to be a chop when it goes brick brick. Nothing changes, and we just end up chopping the pot. Unfortunate not to be able to double up here. Was looking to get a big win and hopefully make a deep run, but we just end up chopping and we move on to the next hand. Next hand is our arch nemesis, ace queen again. This hand has just not been too nice to us. We are in the big blind. Again, blinds are 500, 1,000, so we've got 22 big blinds in our stack. We see a late position raise to 2.3K, and I just go ahead and rip it in here for 22 big blinds. Again, trying to double up here, trying to see if we can win and make a deep run. This gets the original raiser to fold, so we end up taking down the raise and the small blind as well. Chipping up a little bit, not a big win, but hey, the way ace queen's been treating us, I'll take it. Move to a new table. We are in seat 6, which is not the best vlogging seat, by the way. I am on the button with pocket jacks, and we see a limp from the hijack. Cutoff gets out of the way. I am going to be raising this up. I make it 2,500 to go. Both blinds quickly fold, and the hijack calls. So we are going to go heads up to a flop. The hijack is a bit short stacked, so we're going to have to navigate a little carefully here. That is until we see jack 5 deuce giving us top set. The hijack checks, and I check back here, disguising the strength of my hand. And we see a very safe turn card, the 9 of clubs. It does bring in some draws, but not too worried about anything here with our top set. Now the hijack bets 2,000, and he's only got about another 10 to 12,000 behind after this 2,000 bet. So I go ahead and rip it all in, and this puts him into the tank for a little bit. He is thinking and thinking and thinking, but he eventually just shrugs his shoulders and says, "What the hell," and calls. I show top set, and he is dead when he turns over pocket 8s. So we end up taking down a pretty nice pot here with our top set, and we are on to the next hand, chipping up. And would you believe it, the next playable hand we pick up is pocket aces in the hijack. Ace of diamonds, ace of spades. It's now level 5, so blinds have gone up to 1,000, 2,000. Better yet, we see a raise from a tight OMC-ish type player in the low jack who makes it 4,500 to go. I don't think there's any other option here besides just going all in, and that is what I do. I put all the chips in the middle. Folds back around to the low jack, who decides to put in the call. He quickly turns over his queens. That's no good, sir. We've got the aces. We see the 9-3-5 rainbow. 4 of spades on the turn, 10 of spades on the river. Isn't going to change anything. Our pocket aces hold, and we double up here. Love to see it. Not long after the pocket aces hand, we pick up pocket kings in level 6. Blinds are now 1.5 and 3K. We've got the kings. We're going to get it all in here, and we end up getting it all in versus a pretty short stack. So not too much is going to change here, but it's still a relevant hand to show, mostly because of what happens on the flop. So we go ahead and get it in with our kings. We get called, and we flop quads against pocket 8s. Okay, break number 2. We had a more productive set of levels this time around. We're sitting on about 60,000 in chips. Blinds are going to be 2,000, 4,000 when we get back. So we're going to have about 15 big blinds to play around with. So we need to double up. Definitely need to double up, chip up, and see if we can't last until I think we're playing until 18, and then if we make it to the final 18, we come back on Thursday and play till the end, till the final table. So that's the goal. That's what we're trying to do. So yeah, Had some exciting hands that I'm happy to share with you guys on the vlog from the last session, including quad kings. Quad kings on the flop. Don't see that too often. Anyway, things are going okay so far. 15 big blinds. Let's get back in there and see if we can't run it up. We get back from the break. We've got 15 big blinds, and we go card dead for the entirety of level 7. So that's 20 minutes. And then we go card dead for about half of level 8. So we're card dead for a good 30 minutes here. And with these tournaments where the blinds go up very quickly and the levels are very short, it can really be punishing when you don't have good cards and you can't really make any moves. So we end up chipping down considerably, and we're left with about 5 or 6 big blinds when we're halfway through level 8. So we've got to make a decision here and double up, because if we hold, we're going to come back to play down to the final table and the winner on Thursday. And I don't want to come back to 4 or 5 big blinds and a super short stack. So we end up getting pocket deuces about halfway to 2/3 through level 8. And I get it all in. I'm on the button. We get called by a player in the blinds, and we get called by a player in middle position. And we're in a good spot. We see ace-3 of hearts and queen-jack of hearts. So all we've got to do is hold. We've got a pair. But unfortunately, the flop is all high cards, ace-king-9, giving the ace the lead until the jack of diamonds and the queen of diamonds peel off, giving the middle position player 2 pair, and we bust out of the tournament. So we are back home. It's about 10:30 in the evening. And we busted out of the tournament. We had about 25K left. Blinds were 3,000, 6,000. So I had roughly like 5 big blinds. And I had to jam it all in with pocket deuces. You know what they say? They say deuces never loses. But this time they did lose. So we were in bad shape, though. We were up against ace-3 of hearts and queen-jack offsuit. Yeah, so we could have tripled up, which wouldn't have been a bad spot. Wouldn't have been a bad thing for that point in the tournament. We had about 9 players left to get to the next day, which would have been on Thursday. So we came close. We almost got there, but not quite. So I think that free roll is fun. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to try to qualify for it in March. So they're going to be running it again. I have to get over 100 hours of playtime between now and the end of February, I believe, in order to qualify. So I'm going to be trying to do that, getting back into some cash games. And yeah, we'll probably do this free roll tournament again because, hey, why not take a shot at winning $40,000? That's going to do it for this episode. And actually, that's going to do it for 2023. So this is going to be the last vlog of this year. If you liked the episode, please do hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future episodes. Share this with anyone who you think would appreciate poker content, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your, sons, daughters, nephews, anyone who you think might enjoy poker content. Please do share the vlog. Thank you all so much for the support in 2023. It's been a fun journey and a fun ride since I started the vlog, and I'm really excited about what 2024 has in store for the vlog and for the channel. So I will see you all in the new year. Have a safe and happy holidays, and good luck at the tables if you're going to be playing over the holidays, and good luck at the tables in general. So again, thank you all for the support this year, and I will see you in 2024. Peace.